Hi, I'm Tamara, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to do a series on the 5 love languages, and today I'm going to focus on quality time. So if you love quality time, then this video is for you. But to make it more interesting, I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm also going to talk about if you hate this love language, what that's like for you. So we're going to get in the minds of each other. But your love language is very important because it speaks to your heart. It speaks to your soul. When people do your love language, it makes you feel extremely cared about. Like, wow, they really do love me. And when they don't do your love language, you feel the opposite. Like, oh my gosh, this person doesn't care about me at all. So it's very important. The problem is everyone has different love languages, and so they clash sometimes. I think quality time is probably the most popular love language. So if you don't have that love language, you might feel like sometimes like you're an outsider or an outcast because it feels like the whole world is quality time. Like everybody wants to get together and be together. So if you're quality time, when someone spends time with you, it feels so warm. It feels so loving. It feels amazing. You feel like that person really does care deeply about you, and it's a great feeling. And when someone doesn't want to spend quality time with you, it feels very rejecting. It feels awful. It feels terrible. And if it's in the workplace, you don't feel very appreciated when someone doesn't give you their undivided quality attention to something that you need to talk to them about or share with them. So it's very, very important. One of the things I notice about people who are quality time is they have a very natural ability to entertain. If you're in their house, they make you feel very invited. You feel so welcome. They just have a natural finesse about how they engage with you when you're in their house. There's a comfortableness that is very admirable, and it just feels really good. Now, wanting quality time means that you like spending time with people. You want to do stuff. You want to get together. You want to plan events. Whereas with some other love languages, for Christmas, for example, you might show your love by throwing a Christmas party, and that's how you feel love. It's not so much the gifts, it's about spending time with people that you really care about, that's important to you. It's engaging in an activity with someone because them giving you their time means an enormous amount to you. Like, they are taking their time and they're spending it with me. Like, how thoughtful is that? Now, quality time, you might think, oh, you have to be extroverted to like quality time, and introverts must hate quality time. But that is so not true. And that's probably why some people who are really introverts think they're extroverted, because they get so much energy from being around people. It feeds their soul. But it has nothing to do with it. You can be very introverted and love quality time. I've seen introverted people be in a setting with people and just sit there. But they love it because the gift is they're around other people and they just soak that in and they feel warmth by it. Whereas someone who doesn't like quality time, that might feel really awkward to them if they're introverted and they don't like quality time. It's going to make it painful and worse for them. So someone who loves quality time, they're going to think of excuses to get together, reasons that, oh, you guys, let's get together. I just got this new product and I think it'll be fun to share it with you. You know someone is quality time if they thank you for doing something with them, for spending the day with them, for going with them somewhere so that they don't have to do it by themselves and you're just in there with them, and they appreciate that so very, very much. It just makes them feel very, very cared about. If you're in a relationship with someone who's quality time and you always have excuses about why you can't come over or why you can't do some activity with them today, or you never want to go around them or be with them or take them somewhere, they're gonna feel devastated. That is not gonna work very well for you to be in a relationship with someone and you don't do the thing that they love the most. That is crushing. It makes them feel extremely hurt. It makes them feel like you don't love them at all. So if you know that your loved one or somebody that you're dating or somebody that you're romantically interested in is quality time person, give them that attention that they're seeking. If you work with someone and it's always, well, we'll just email each other about it, we're never gonna meet in person, I'm never gonna have time to sit down with you to go over things, that person is probably not gonna feel very appreciated. Let's say there's some type of event with that organization and you don't attend it, they're gonna feel very hurt. They're gonna feel pretty much like, okay, this person doesn't care about their job at all. It's gonna impact you and how you interact, for example, with that boss. If they're having some type of meeting or special event and you blow it off like, oh, I have other things to do, they might not appreciate that too much. So people who are not quality time have a different respect for time. Time is extremely precious to the person who is not quality time. They value it tremendously. They have a certain way that they treat time and the things that they fit into it. So you want to understand that if there's somebody who's not quality time and you convince them to come to something that you're doing, make sure you're on time, because that is going to make that person not want to come anymore or not want to deal with that situation anymore. So people who are not quality time, I think it's rare for people to not want to be quality time. But I've been meeting more and more people. Some of these people are very extroverted. They are very friendly. You would think that they would be the life of the party, but when it comes to events, they might not be quality time because they feel socially awkward. Like I heard Dr. Phil once say that when he goes to a party, he kind of hugs the wall because he just feels uncomfortable or like awkward. Like, okay, someone who's not quality time will kind of feel like, okay, what do I do with myself? They might have some social anxiety where you feel very self-conscious. It could be self-conscious about the way that you look, or self-conscious about what are we going to talk about. Just you're very, very, very aware of other people, and so you're very aware of yourself, and you just feel nervous and anxious. If someone is not quality time and you invite them to an event, you want it to be a positive event. If there's a lot of chaos, if there's a lot of fighting, if there's a lot of confrontation, if you are rude or confrontational, disrespectful, you're probably going to be scaring the person who's not quality time away. If there's someone, here's some advice for if your quality time and one of your friends is not, or a family member and you want to get a little closer to them, throw something out there. Now, not all the time because that's draining, but let's say you want that person to go to church with you. Throw it out there a couple of times. Give them the address and give them that freedom, because a person who's not quality time, they're gonna feel very suffocated by somebody that's always like, why haven't you come? Come. Give them the space. Say, here's my address. Here's the address to my church. If you ever want to drop by, it's from this time to this time. And you never know, that person might surprise you, show up, and start coming all the time, as long as there's no pressure. Because a person who's not quality time, they don't like pressure. They don't like being forced into boxes, and they feel like they already don't have much time because they could actually, if they're very extroverted, they've probably drawn a lot of people in, so they get a ton of invites. So you might think that you're the only person that you're inviting them to something, and they have 1,000. So they're spending pieces of time. Like for me, for example, I'm not the biggest quality time person. Doesn't mean that I don't enjoy spending time with family and friends, but sometimes I feel very spread thin. Like, okay, I have 1,000 people inviting me. Okay, so let me go to this person's thing and this person's thing. Can't always be like, okay, I'm only coming to this person's things. It's, so the person could feel very shy. They could feel socially awkward. They could have anxiety. They might have a ton on their plate. I've also talked to some quality time people lately who had alcoholic parents. So they felt very smothered in their earlier years, very suffocated, very needed. And so your attempts to, hey, come spend time with me, come be with me, it could be very draining for that person because they got so much of their time and their energy drained from them in their childhood that they need a lot more time to recover from it, kind of like an introvert. Introverts need downtime in order to rejuvenate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are an introvert if you don't like quality time. So be understanding of that person. I'll tell you the number one worst thing you can say to somebody if they're not quality time. Let's say they show up at an event, right? And the first thing you say to them is, you never come to things. Okay, well, you just dropped that person from here to here. The thing you want to do is praise that person for being there by saying things like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, it's so nice to get to spend some time with you. Thank you for coming. It means so much. Because that could be a motivator. Or saying, hey, give me a hug. I've really missed you. You know, I've missed you. It's making it positive. A person is doing what you want them to do, but you take that as a moment to pound them or to punish them. That's really bad. You want to be positive and you want to be encouraging with that person. People who say that they're not quality time, they say that they hate it. In fact, I was with someone earlier today who said that they hate quality time, and their words were, leave me alone, stop bothering me, stop inviting me to thousands of things that you're doing. I don't want to come. It's aggravating, it's annoying, it's frustrating. Since last thing on their list is quality time, they're really gonna hate it so much. It's draining. They can spend weeks and days thinking about you confronting them because they don't want to do that thing. I know one lady who had a baby recently said, I'm not quality time, and when people would come over to see my baby, just spend 30 minutes and then leave. Like, I need rejuvenation. But instead, she had a situation where she just had a baby, people came over, they wanted to be entertained, so now I have to try to cook something and entertain, and I just, you know what I'm saying? So it's important to know what someone's love languages are and what works for them and what doesn't. Now, someone who's quality time, there have been friends of mine, when they've had babies, I'll go over there and stay all day, and they just soak it in and they love it. You know what I'm saying? A few quick tips. If someone you care about is quality time and you're not, and especially in a romantic relationship, you are going to have to compromise if you really love and care about this person. Because if you don't spend quality time with them, it's just too hurtful, it's too painful, you are devastating that person. The other option would be, maybe that's not the person that you need to be with, and you need to learn that before it's too late. If you're not quality time, you might want to make sure that you're going to important events. If someone's having a baby shower, a wedding, a graduation, a prom, there's something that's important to that person, I'm going to try to go. If I have some time off, then I'm gonna try to make up for all of the time that I wasn't able to spend with that person if I know it's important to them. And I'm gonna say, hey, you wanna go to lunch? You wanna do something? I'm gonna try to make up for that. If there's someone in your life and you are constantly putting pressure on them to spend time with you, but you do need to find someone who values quality time on the same level that you do, and then that way, you guys can have fun together and go find a person that's equally yoked with you. It's about kind of knowing what your values are, what's important to you, and doing something about it. I hope you learned something from watching this video on the love language, quality time. As a token of words of affirmation, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching my video, and keep watching. Bye.